Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, class.
Morning.
For Captain class, please lead to prayer before we study.
Before we study, let's pray together. Say greeting to our teacher. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Dina. How are you, students?
I'm fine, Miss.
Hi, Miss.
I'm fine, Miss. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Before we begin the lesson, I will make a attendance you. Dina Khairunisa,
Present.
Sekarani Chandraning Tias,
Present, Miss.
Habibah Nurhani Zulfa,
Present, Miss.
Ajeng Nabila Saskia,
I am here, Miss.
Ayu Budi Cahayani.
Present, Miss.
Okay. At the previous meeting, we had studied the derivative of algebra function. And now, we will be studying with the derivative of trigonometric function. What of the benefit about derivative function of trigonometry? In ancient Greece, trigonometry was used in astronomical calculation. For example, trigonometry was used to calculate the distance of the moon to the earth. Trigonometry is also used in geography. That is, how to calculate the earth's fingers and the distance between two places on earth without having to travel around the earth. A simple example of everyday life is that trigonometry can be used to measure the height of trees without having to climb them. Measuring a tree's height can be done by measuring a shadow formed by sunlight. It also measuring angles formed by three grain points, the tips of the shadows and the tips of the trees. From the result of this representation, use trigonometric knowledge to calculate the height of the tree by applying the comparative value of trigonometry, both sinus, cosinus, and tangent. Okay, for all students, I will give the materials related to the derivative function of trigonometry. All students are allowed to read them first. And I will give you 5 minutes to read the material without stepping out of Zoom. Okay, students, after reading in the classroom, I would like to ask you about that. How many derivative functions of trigonometric are we going to study? Please mention. Sekarani, please answer.
Six, Miss.
What is that?
Sinus derivative function, cosinus derivative function, tangent derivative function, cotangent derivative function, secant derivative function.
Okay, good. I will give your example about that. I will share about the material. You see that?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Derivative function of trigonometry. Derivative function of sinus. The sin function has the form y equals fx equals sin x with x in radian. Formula of sin gap. Sin alpha minus sin beta equals 2 cos in the brackets alpha plus beta over 2 sin alpha minus beta over 2. And precept of derivative sinus function, y accent equals f accent x equals cos x or dy over dx equals dfx over dx equals d over dx in the bracket sin x equals cos x. And then derivative function of cosine. The cosine function has the form y equals fx equals cosine x with x in radians. Precept of derivative cosine function is y accent equals f accent x equals minus sin x or dy over dx equals df x over dx equals d over dx times cos x equals minus sin x. And then derivative function of tangen. The tangen function has the form y equals fx equals tangen x with x in radian. Precept of derivative tangen function is y accent equals f accent x equals secant squared x or dy over dx equals dfx over dx equals d over dx times tan x equals secant squared x. And the last derivative function of cotangen, secant, and cosecant. For x in the radians will always occur A. If y equals fx equals cotangen x, so y accent equals f accent x equals minus cosecant squared x or dy over dx equals dfx over dx equals d over dx times cotangen x equals minus cosecant squared x. B. If y equals fx equals secant x, so y accent equals f accent x equals secant x times tangen x or dy over dx equals dfx over dx equals d over dx times secant x equals secant x times tangen x. C. If y equals fx equals cosecant x, so y accent equals f accent x equals minus cosecant x times cotangen x or dy over dx equals dfx over dx equals d over dx times cotangen x equals minus cosecant x times cotangen x. Okay, students, do you understand?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Dina Khairunisa? You understand?
Yes, Miss.
Habibah Nurhani Zulfa, you understand?
Yes, Miss.
Ajeng Nabila Saskia, you understand?
Yes, Miss.
Ayu Budi Cahyani, you understand?
Yes, Miss.
Sekarani Chandra Ningtyas, you understand?
Yes.
Okay. After studying this, does anyone have any question?
No, Miss.
No, Miss.
Okay. Now, we watch the learning video of this material that I'm going to share through the classroom. We will learn about derivative function trigonometry of sinus, cosinus, tangen, kotangen, secant, and cosecant. I will give you 10 minutes to watching the video. Okay, after watching the video, you are allowed to have a discussion with his friend in the classroom. I will give you 5 minutes to discuss. Okay, all. I hope you can make your own summaries of the material studied today. And finally, I'm going to assign you in the classroom application as many 3 questions. Please make good use of the text and turn it in at the appointed time, okay? Okay?
Okay, Miss.
Okay, Miss. Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Would anyone like to make a conclusion about today's lesson? No?
No, Miss.
Okay. If no one wants, I will let you know. The conclusion we learned today is that the derivative of trigonometric function is needed in all of our life, in astronomy, in geography, even in our daily life. Before we close today, let's say hamdalah.
Alamin.
For Captain class, please let's do prayer after we study.
Yes, Miss. After we study, let's pray together. Say greeting to our teacher. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you all. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
You're welcome.